Hello artists, today we're going to be making op art. Op art stands for optical art, which is a style of art that makes optical illusions. When a viewer looks at op art, it gives them the impression of movement, hidden images, flashing, vibrations, pattern warping and swelling, and looks 3D even though it's 2D. You will need a piece of paper, a pencil, a ruler or something with a straight edge, a pair of scissors, and some color pencils or some crayons for this project. You can complete this project with 2 or 4 colors. The first thing we have to do is make our piece of paper into a square. So you're going to use the smaller side of the paper, and there's 2 ways you can do it. You can measure the smaller side of your paper, get the measurement, then turn your paper and make little tiny marks at the same measurement on the longer side of your paper to make the square. I usually make at least 3 little lines. Then turn your ruler, matched up with your little tiny lines, draw a straight line, and cut directly on the line. Another way you can make a square is by lightly bending your paper, matching up the lines, but not fold your paper down. Use it as a guide and draw a line with your pencil. You could always make a smaller version of this project by not folding your paper all the way over in half and tracing both sides of your paper. If you don't have scissors at home, you can always just fold your paper repeatedly and rip off that side of the paper. But if you have scissors, I'd recommend cutting on the line. After you're finished cutting, flip your paper over so we don't see your line. Get your pencil and your ruler or your straight edge ready for the next step. You're going to be making one very small dot as your focal point for the project. It can be anywhere on your paper, but I'm going to show you how to make it exactly in the center if you wish. To find the exact center of your paper, line up your ruler in the middle-ish of your paper and measure the number across the whole page. So whatever that number is, you're going to divide it up in half and make a very small mark. Then you're going to turn your paper, line it up on the little tiny mark that you made, and do the same thing again, and this little dot that you make will be the exact center of your page. Don't forget to erase the original dot so that way you don't get confused. Okay, now we're going to be making all of our lines from our center point. Line up your pencil first on the dot, then put your ruler or straight edge up against it and draw a line. You're going to repeat this process. Pencil first on the dot, line up your ruler, draw a line. You need to make an even amount of lines. I recommend making around 8 lines, so usually 8 or 10 is what my students usually go with for this project. Make sure you count your lines as you go to make sure you have an even amount. For your last line, try and find the spot that has the biggest amount of space and divide that one up as your last and final line. Alright, now let's make our paper look like it's warping. Concentrate on one triangle. We're going to be making convex lines, which means they curve down almost like a smiley face shape, and you're going to skip a space and make the next one. I usually stick with the same even number, so I made 6 curving lines in this triangle. We're going to skip the triangles that are directly next to the one we just did. So you're going to rotate your paper around, skip a triangle, and then do the same exact process on the next one. Try to line up your curves so they're kind of close together in the same area to make the next step easier. You're going to keep repeating this process, skipping the triangle that's directly next to the one you just did, concentrating on the next triangle, making those curved convex lines, using the same amount of lines on each triangle. Now we're going to work with our empty spaces and do the opposite. So we're going to be making concave lines this time. I like to say that concave lines are almost like making rainbows, and you're just going to hop and match the lines together. So start on one side and hop on over to the other side, making a rainbow shape so that they match up. Some of the lines can go a little bit more curvier than the others, and that's okay. Alright, here's my finished product, and as I'm looking at this, I've got a lot of extra space in some of my corners, so it's okay if you add an extra line. So this is what you're going to do. Just follow the same process, making the curved line. In this space I could fit 2. And then as you hop around, you can continue to add the lines. With those extra lines I added in my corners, now my whole paper looks like it's warping. Alright, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be using your color pencils or crayons to shade it in.